Good morning. Welcome to the Treasure Coast Unitarian Universalist Congregation in Stuart, Florida. Today is Sunday, December 7th, 2025. My name is Jackie Buckley, and I'm your worship associate today. We are a welcoming congregation. We welcome people of all gender identities, ethnicities, ages, and backgrounds, recognizing the inherent worth and dignity of every person. We are here to celebrate, to affirm, and put into action the interconnectedness of the living mission of the Unitarian principles that you will find printed in the back of your order of service. We broadcast and archive our services on YouTube, and to be put on our mailing list or to find out more information about us, please go to our website at tcuc.org. At this time, please take a minute to be sure your cell phones are silenced. And now is our time to welcome any visitors who might be with us or new here. And if you're comfortable, we would ask that you come up to the microphone. All right. Well, then we'll start with our announcements. Please see the printed order of service and the newsletter for complete details. Please join us on the first and third Tuesdays at Poppleton Creek Park at noon for our brown bag lunch. This park is just down the street, adjacent to the dog park. And today, this afternoon, Deb Harris will be holding a circle discussion at 3 p.m. in Heston Hall entitled Improving Conversation with People We Disagree With. Please bring hors d'oeuvres and a snack to share. We have some upcoming December holiday announcements to share. Monday, December 12th at 5 to 7 p.m., John Moore and his band, the Stubborn Bastards, will be performing for us in Heston Hall. Please bring food and beverage and family and friends. The only cost is a trip to the tip bucket, and this is always a good time. I'm sorry, thank you. It says, I'm sorry. I didn't check that thing. Friday, December 12th. On Sunday, December 21st, and if I'm wrong about that, let me know, you're all invited to join the repertoire of traveling carolers as we trek out to sing to our homebound congregants. We'll carpool from the parking lot. And on Sunday, December 21st, we'll include a special choir performance of Pachelbel's Canon of Peace, with accompaniment from members of the Treasure Coast Youth Symphony. Again, feel free to invite your family and friends. And on December 24th, Christmas Eve at 5:30, please join us here in the sanctuary for carols, candlelight, and cookies, and our special tradition of Christmas Eve reading Velveteen Rabbit, How Toys Become Real. This is a singing celebration that shouldn't be missed. And finally, today we have coffee and cookies in the social hall after the service. I do want to announce that December is, we celebrate birthdays this month. And if anyone here has a December birthday, would like to stand and acknowledge you. Well, thank you. We want to celebrate your birthday, and thank you for having your birthday so that we all have an excuse to eat cake. We appreciate that. And I do want to point out, I'll mention it now as an announcement, that our dear Marguerite Gregory, who works in hospitality, does many other things too, but that's one of her many jobs, was sick this morning. She came in early, set up coffee, and went home. And so she left everything out for us beautifully, but the service and cleanup will be on us today. And I do want to also report that Marguerite is retiring from hospitality. It's like a joy and a sorrow. That the joy is she'll get to enjoy coffee hour and enjoy coffee with people and not have to always be working. But it does leave the job open, and it's going to take many of us to replace her. So there's a sign-up sheet actually on the door of the kitchen. So as setup and cleanup for today and going forward, so we can keep that in mind and wish Marguerite the best, enjoying coffee with us for a change. All right, let's see where I'm at here. Yes, sure.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Shari Louise, and this will be the second year in a row. This coming Sunday, I will be doing another holiday boutique with lots of beautiful jewelry and gift items, gift bags, and as you remember, very inexpensively. So please join us next Sunday at coffee hour. Thank you.
Anything else? Tia?
A reminder that today is also First Sunday for congregational meeting.
Thank you.
Is that in there or in here?
What's in there? You can all be drinking coffee.
Okay.
This is a busy day for us.
Yes.
I want to give a big thanks for all those helping with the service today. Jackie Robbins, Sandy Craig, the choir, our extra musicians, and people working as ushers, Judy Bajoris, John Cook, David Gray, Judith Watt, Shari Louise. Thank you all. Our ushers are unknown yet, but I thank you in advance. And also our tech support, excuse me, Karina Poloni and for Alistair Forrester. And in the pulpit this morning is our own Jim Rose, and his title of his sermon today is Prayer and Rituals. Jim was born in a loving family in central New Jersey. He has a degree in computer science, and he was introduced to Unitarian Universalism while living and working in Annapolis. Moving to Seattle in 1995, Jim became involved in the Center for Spiritual Living, where he studied the practice of science of mind. He did a deep dive into studies of early development that included the New Thought movement, and he served on the center's board of trustees. Jim's careers included national retail chain development, followed by 25 years as a commercial real estate appraiser. Jim and Jay met in 2013 and later married, and have enjoyed sharing their integral role of raising two adult children from Jim's previous marriage. We look forward to Jim's talk today. And now for our prelude.
This is a healthy looking bow, and this is what happened after working too hard this week. As you can see, there's a little difference. So I'm going to use my backup bow. Backup bow. It's always good to have plan B. All right, this is Johann Sebastian Bach, an Allemande from the G major solo cello suite.
Jackie. Our chalice lighting words this morning are from Pat Uribe Lichty. The chalice we light today is a symbol of our faith. It binds us together as one people, a reminder that our strength is in our shared hope for the world, and that our common work is the creation of a beloved community among ourselves and in the world. Our opening words today are from Carla Childers. This time of year, it's a Christmas experience that she had that I want to share with you. She says, "December is a whirlwind in my family and possibly in yours. Throughout this frenetic season, I bake countless cookies, plan intricate activities for work obligations, and try to create holiday magic for others to stave off feelings of winter melancholy in myself. By the end of December, I feel like one of the ornaments that my dog has pulled off the tree to nibble on. I try to conserve a bit of energy on Christmas Eve to make my favorite overnight cinnamon rolls. I lovingly make the dough before the candlelight service, baby the rolls overnight, and bake them fresh on Christmas morning as our home fills with eager anticipation. Last year, just as my children started whimpering for sugar, I pulled the cinnamon rolls out of the oven and their pillowy bounty was beckoning. I placed them on the counter to cool, insisting that they would be ready soon. A few minutes later, I heard a strange popping noise in the kitchen. My stomach sank as I realized the pan had cracked into a million pieces, filling the cinnamon rolls with angry shards of glass. Defeat, disappointment, and the sharp jab of self-criticism filled me. The cinnamon rolls, the final gift of the season, were now detritus. I sank onto the couch, my family taking turns expressing their own sadness while offering the comfort of candy pulled out from stockings. Reminded of our family motto, "Po Buddy's Nerfect," I grieved the loss with compassion. Our dog nosed me, climbing over to cuddle. My partner dug into the back of the fridge, hoping to find a leftover can of store-brand cinnamon rolls. I sat in the morning light, surrounded by my family, the lights twinkling as holiday music filled the air. Taking a slow breath, the air around me finally stood still. When faced with imperfection, self-criticism, or doubts, we can allow ourselves grace. We can try to breathe in the love that surrounds us, finding the anchors of self-compassion, connection, and community. Sometimes it can be hard to find meaning when faced with the daily work of living in this world and all its complexities. Yet, I still cling to the hope that whatever defeats or disappointments we encounter this season, we might find a bit of holiday magic that tastes sweeter than the most perfect treat. And now for our opening hymn. Please join me in number 211, We Are Climbing Jacob's Ladder. Please stand if you like. Let us recite our affirmation, speaking the first verse and singing the second. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
I love that her opening words are always about food. She gave us a recipe one time, and thank you. Well, good morning. This morning, our responsive reading is number 441, and it's titled To Worship. To worship is to stand in awe under the heaven of stars, before a flower, a leaf in sunlight, or a grain of sand. To worship is to be silent, receptive, before the trees there, the wind, or the passing shadow of a cloud. To worship is to work with dedication and with skill. It is to pause from work and listen to a strain of music. It is to sing with the singing beauty of the earth. It is to listen through a storm, with still small voice within. Worship is a loneliness seeking communion. It is a thirsty land crying out for rain. Worship is the mystery within us, reaching out to the mystery beyond. Yearning to speak in the wind of into the sky, the eternal. That's Jacob Trapp.
Now is the time for our joys and sorrows. We have a message from Bob. He shared that Lawrence Trico and Paul Meneses are recovering and they're feeling better. Glad to hear that.
Jackie, pull the mic in a little.
Thank you. Please step up to the microphone and speak. Tell us your name, and we'll move a stone in our symbolic river of life to mark each joy and sorrow. Please keep it personal and exercise brevity where able.
I'm feeling better. Okay.
I will.
Okay, and you can hear, even I can hear me. So, I'm feeling better. That's a joy. I lost the whole month of November, as did my friend Linda, our minister Bob, Stan, Judith, and David. Whatever this crud was that's going around, I hope it's on its way away. So, but my real joy is that my friend, our friend, Deb Harris, is here for 3 or 4 days. She's, wave. Everybody knows who you are, but wave anyway. Whee! And so she'll be with us for coffee hour and for this seminar this afternoon, and then she'll be around for a few days so we can catch up with her. So I'm so glad you're here.
Anyone else?
Hello, I'm Bob Royce. This is a joy. The joy is, and it occurred to me last night, I mean, this is December. We're in Florida, and last night we were out at an open-air concert under the stars. It was gorgeous. I mean, we couldn't do that in Boston. I can guarantee you nobody in Boston went to an open-air concert last night. So it's very joyful being here.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, and we danced.
Hi, I'm Ronnie Dombowski, and I have an update on my husband's daughter, my stepdaughter. She had the liver transplant, and everybody knows she recovered from that, but now she's having other problems. She's on dialysis, her kidneys aren't functioning right, she's keeps getting sick, and we're quite worried that she's not going to be okay for a long, long time, and it's very difficult out there in North Dakota, away from family and with a child that's autistic. And please keep her in your thoughts, and if you pray, in your prayers.
Hi, my name is Sherry Conrad. I wanted to take just a second to tell you about a joy. I keep forgetting, but this morning I remembered. And that is, I love the choir. It's such a wonderful addition to the worship. I've always loved music. I used to be able to sing before smoking for 30 years. Oops, is right. And I'm so grateful for the people who are in the choir and do such a fabulous job.
Well, as Tia announced, I'm Deb Harris. But I want to just say it's such a joy to be with you all in person. We watch you on YouTube, and I'm so grateful to Karina for making sure that we can see you and hear you on YouTube. And we always look out in the crowd and say, oh, it's good to see this person and this person, but it's way, way better to see you all in person. So it's lovely to be here. Thank you so much. It's a joy.
And for those whose joys or sorrows are too private to share, we move a stone. Please know that our hearts are with you.
This is the part that is the meditation, and I've chosen Pema Chodron, I believe I pronounced it right. The path is uncharted. This path has one very distinct characteristic. It is not prefabricated. It doesn't exist already. The path that we're talking about is the moment-by-moment evolution of our experience, the moment-by-moment evolution of the world of phenomena, the moment-by-moment evolution of our thoughts and our emotions. The path is not Route 66, destination Los Angeles. It's not as if we can take out a map and figure that this year we might make it to Gallup, New Mexico, and maybe next year we'll be in LA. The path is uncharted. It comes into existence moment by moment, and at the time drops away behind us. It's like riding a train sitting backward. We can't see where we're headed, only where we've been. This is very encouraging teaching because it says that the source of wisdom is whatever is going to happen to us today. The source of wisdom is whatever is happening to us in this very moment. Now some silence.
And now is the time for our offertory, and I hope that... Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought that was you, sorry. Please join us for Spirit of Life. And the choir will lead us. Hum one time through and then sing. This is number 123 in the hymnal. And now is the time for our offertory. I think we'd have 2 volunteer ushers. I'd appreciate it. Today, we are passing a second basket, the woven basket, for your generous donations to be made to the House of Hope this holiday season in December. And we thank the social justice team for this collection. these gifts, which we freely give and gratefully receive, we say yes to the values of our faith as Unitarian Universalists. Thank you all for your offerings and pledges, and thank you, Jackie. Here now is Jim Rose.
Good morning again. So the talk today is on prayer and ritual, and where to begin talking about prayer and ritual in a Universalist church. The Unitarian Universalists welcome or dismiss any concept or notion of God, and regardless of how narrow or broad an interpretation one takes, prayers and rituals in both religious and secular forms have laid the foundation for early human evolution and continue to give us purpose, build strong, authentic community relationships, and make our lives more enjoyable. In today's talk, we're going to take a dive into some early civilized community rituals of Mesopotamia and some that were uncovered in the Dead Sea Scrolls. We're going to then take a brief inventory and look at contemporary society and some of the prayers and rituals and religions that are organized and practiced today. And then, while there's a common notion that all of religion is superstition and therefore could have little practical benefit, we'll also look at some recent studies in social science that confirm with evidence that these practices actually do enrich us on an organic human level. Let's begin by looking back at the lives of our forebears, some early history. In Mesopotamia literature, there are records of the creation of handbooks and prayers dating from around the 21st century BCE. The texts contain chants, sung and spoken rituals, spells, and hymns used in gatherings for healings and petitioning the gods for some supernatural effect. These incantations were intended to ward off demons and disease, heal the sick, and were used to ask the king and magistrates in seeking reconciliation with the deity. There was a whole series of dealing with the disappearance of the moon. A belief prevailed that unless one succeeds in pacifying the gods, the community would suffer its darkness again. There is an example of a recorded ritual whereby the king would proceed to the sanctuary at the end of the month and recite a prayer on the disappearance of the moon. Unless one succeeded, another eclipse would soon follow. It was a belief hard to disprove. If no eclipse took place, the gods had been satisfied. The deciphered text included strong, direct, prayerful pleas. God, grant light to the people of tall lands. Bright and brilliant is thy torch. Soon after rejoicing followed the reappearance of the moon, and a special day of pacification was designated and celebrated. There are petitions to lords of wisdom, gods of moons, and gods of suns. Such prayers were discovered on clay tablets dating back to around 2000 BCE. In this emerging civilization, these early recorded prayers and rituals were fundamental to how the societies organized itself, found meaning, and made sense of things. These practices helped standardize community social structures and the evolving shared belief systems of the times. Daniel Falk, of Columbia University, a member of the international team of editors of the Dead Sea Scrolls, works deciphering much of the scrolls' content. The scrolls reveal that prayer practices were becoming much more organized and put to use for specific purposes of social development around 200 BCE. The scrolls contain hymns and hundreds of prayers, the use of which was required part of life at the time. Records show that the villagers mostly lived in caves, but the buildings seemed to be constructed solely for communal use. The people kept livestock and tended fields, but their main activity appeared to be religious devotion. The scrolls indicate that the community prayed together both at dawn and sunset. The famous War Scroll details apocalyptic text describing a 40-year holy war with heavenly dimensions between a perceived dominion of light and dominion of darkness, of good and evil. It included planned petitions of troops, gates, formations, and stations at which to pray, a very active scene of a community under spiritual bombardment. Records indicate that their prayers were their weapons. Prayer was the way of defending their boundaries. It was this evolving culture's way of sending up prayers to God, a practice that has influenced most later religions' practices today. Falk cites, why would they do this? Why would this way of life appeal to these people? Because it worked, he says. It worked for them. As severe as it sounds to us, these prayers and rituals allowed them to make sense of their world. It gave them their sense of survival, and it bonded them personally and in their evolutionary time. Now, in our contemporary society, literally thousands of organized religions have emerged. They also offer a rich selection of communal and personal spiritual practices, celebrations, ceremonies that have evolved over thousands of years. Our religions today have played a significant part in finding purpose and enjoyment in our lives. They've given us reasons to celebrate life with our own families. There's Christianity, made up of Catholic, Protestant, and Orthodox sects. It's the world's largest religion, with a population of 2.4 billion. Centering around the life, death, and resurrection of Christ, prayers include act of faith, the Lord's Prayer, and the Rosary, and there are rituals of exotic mass celebrations. Its calendar of holidays are celebrations for literally billions of people and their families. Islam, with a world population of 2 billion, recognizes one God, Allah, and Messenger Muhammad. Celebrations of Friday prayer, Ramadan, sacred group prayer are performed and celebrated by families in over 3.5 million mosques all over the world. Judaism has a world population of nearly 16 million, with declaration of faith prayers, the Shema, and the Amidah. The Jewish faith strictly follows hundreds of divine commandments. Jews around the world celebrate Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and pilgrimage festivals with liturgy performed in rhythmic chants. Hinduism has a world population of 1.6 billion and is a synthesis of various traditions centering on the eternal individual soul, the moral force of karma, purification through meditation, and a nonviolent reverence toward all life. Now, most of us here today have and perhaps remain active in these religious orders and still draw from their rituals and prayers and practices. Unitarian Universalism has a worldwide population of 800,000 to 1.3 million. We think we have a range because we really never locked the door. Unitarian Universalists hold sacred the matter of each individual and allow for a diversity of beliefs within a unified, value-based community. This broad tolerance cultivates empathy and allows community and interpersonal relationships to be built on genuine authenticity. It allows us to enjoy one another more and make sense of our world in our evolutionary time. It is also not lost on us that religions can require one to hold a narrow point of view and at times have brought great suffering to humanity. But religious practices have also delivered for people, guided us through hard times, and returned us to happy lives after tragedy, made life better than it would have been without it. And there is specific evidence that prayers and rituals transform our inner world and play a decisive role in shaping our social world. Now let's take a look at some recent studies in social science. The first comes to us through research performed by David DeSteno. He's a professor of psychology at Northeastern University. His book, The Science Behind the Benefits of Religion. In the past few decades, psychologists have uncovered what they refer to as interpersonal motor synchrony. Individuals matching timing and rhythm of their movements during social interactions. Synchronized movements and the matching of tones, whether in chants or in group singing, takes place in many rituals and are a marker to the brain that people involved are part of a larger whole. To show the effects of such synchronized movements, social scientists conducted an experiment where each person was paired with a partner and had them put on headphones. The participants tapped their hands to the beats they heard. While neither member of the pair of the experiment knew the other, some pairs heard synchronized beats and thus tapped in time with each other. Other pairs heard random beats that led to no synchronization at all. After tapping, each pair was asked how similar they felt to their partner. As anticipated, those who had tapped in time felt a greater link to each other. Later, a situation was orchestrated where one member of the pair needed help completing a difficult task. Partners who had tapped synchronously were much more likely to come to the aid of each other and offer assistance, a rate of 49% greater than participants who didn't, a rate of only 18%. One simple act of synchronized movement made people feel connected enough to nearly triple their rate of helping a stranger. Experiments like this demonstrate that even a simple, common, synchronized element of ritual speaks to the mind at a deep level and improves human connection. Let's look now at the power of rituals, how rituals can foster community. This time, the experiment was with children. Christine Liger, professor of psychology at University of Texas, randomly divided a group of children taking part in after-school program into teams, green and yellow, and had them wear green and yellow wristbands. Next, she divided the groups in half again, so there were 2 green and 2 yellow groups, all with about the same number of boys and girls. Over the following 2 weeks, she had one of the green and one of the yellow groups perform a ritual with beads for 10 minutes a day, while the other group played with the beads however they liked. The point here was to see whether taking part in a simple ritual would increase the bonds between kids beyond simply dividing them into teams and letting them interact. During the 10-minute activities, the kids on the green and yellow teams in the ritual condition were told to string the beads in a very specific way. They first had to touch the star-shaped bead to their foreheads, then put the string through the bead. Next, they clapped their hands 3 times before getting a round bead and touching it to their heads. Then they began the sequence again, and on it went. The kids in the neutral condition were told to string the beads away any way they wished. After 2 weeks, Liger asked the children questions that gauged the level at which they valued their peers. The children naturally showed preference for the kids in their own groups, but the strength and degree of preference was exceptionally much greater and more interpersonally focused among the group that performed the ritual together every day. Let's look at work done around a powerful ritual for shedding anxiety and gaining clarity, meditation. Meditation practices, whether in a group or as an individual practice, strengthen many valued human virtues, among them compassion and kindness. In the late 2010s, professor of psychology David DeSteno performed a social experiment in order to scientifically confirm whether meditation can make people more compassionate. The recruited group consisted of people from the Boston area with no prior meditation experience who took part in an 8-week experiment. Half of them were called to the campus once a week to learn meditation from a Tibetan Buddhist Lama. Between those trainings, they practiced at home, guided by recordings the Lama created. The other half of the group, the control group, was told they were put on a waiting list to train with the Lama. At the end of the 8 weeks, people were called to the lab one at a time and were told they would be given memory attention tests to see if meditation improved these functions. But that wasn't true. They were being tested for kindness. When each person arrived, they entered a waiting room that had 3 chairs, 2 of which were already occupied. So as a normal person would do, they sat in the remaining chair. The occupants of the other chairs were actors. A few minutes later, a third actor would appear on crutches in apparent pain with her foot encased in an ankle brace boot. She entered the room, the other actors ignored her while thumbing their phones as she would move toward the wall to lean uncomfortably against it. The research question was to see whether the person in the study would ignore her too or help ease her discomfort by offering the chair. The result was that 50% of those who had meditated for the past 8 weeks quickly offered their seats, while only 16% of the control group did the same. The experiment was replicated a second time to verify the results, which were similar. The experiment demonstrated there's a significant difference in show of compassion due to meditation practice. Lastly, let's look at the organic interconnectedness of participants of a group event. Sometimes we experience it in a movie theater, a large sporting event, or singing in a group. Human interconnectedness was certainly on display at the now famous Taylor Swift Eras tour concerts. A powerful influence is experienced by both the leading participants and the onlookers. Anthropologist Demetrius Xygalatas, associate professor at UConn, produced the best studied evidence of this power through a field study in Spain. His research focused on human rituals, their cultural significance, and their impact on the brain. In this study, the influence is the perceived pain of participants on a firewalk, which revealed organic interconnectedness, heightened effect experiences by both the participants and the onlookers. Xygalatas examined the Paso del Fuego, the firewalking ritual performed at the celebrations of San Juan in San Pedro. With temperatures of around 1,250 degrees Fahrenheit, firewalkers use strategies to cross the coals with minimum burns, but the coals are still unbelievably hot. His team placed unobstructive portable heart monitors on participants and observers at the ritual. The fireworkers danced in a circle. Then, one by one, they hoist another person onto their backs for added weight and travel along the glowing coals. Once on the other side, each person steps onto the cool ground to cheers of onlookers. When the last walk is done, and after the anxiety of the walk, the entire community joins in a ruckus party. As would be expected, everyone, both walkers and observers alike, had quicker heartbeats during the walk, some almost as high as 200 beats per minute. Yet, even in the face of the heightened arousal, most onlookers reported that they felt calm, almost Zen-like, as their hearts were racing, but their minds were not. Everyone was focused on the efforts of the firewalkers. A remarkable finding was that as the heart rates of the firewalkers changed before, during, and after the walks, the audiences did the same. Everyone's physiology was synchronized. Their heart rates and emotional reactions were aligned. What's more, the degree of synchronization paralleled the social relationship distance among the people. For example, the heart rate of the firewalker's spouse would track the changes more closely than that of a stranger's. By creating a psychological synchronicity, rituals forge a sense of interconnectedness and shape the collective human experience. And in closing, both religious and secular prayers and rituals have no real influence on the outer world, but they do transform our inner world and play a decisive role in shaping our social world. They played a foundational role in early human evolution and remain so in the world today. They help us create and experience interconnectedness. They make us more generous and kinder to one another. They make it easier to turn to someone for help. They give us purpose, and they continue to make our lives more enjoyable. Now, please join me in our closing hymn, number 121. It's in the teal hymnal, and it will be on the wall. Please stand. Our closing song, and the words will appear on the wall. We'll sing together, Lean on Me, which is hymn 1021.
Thank you, Jim. I just want to remind us again to all get together for a coffee hour after the postlude. And at 3 o'clock with Deb. Absolutely. And our closing words, as we extinguish this chalice, may we be reminded that an ember of its light goes with us as we contemplate the message that Jim left for us today. Go your ways, knowing not the answers to all things, yet seeking always the answer to one more thing that you know. Words of John Brigham.